Okay, you guys want to play My Wife Wants to Be a Cosplayer, but you want to play Dysphanesia? What? Okay, psychological horror. Haven't seen that one before. Dystopian. I'm in. Signalis, the very new, not so old, just like 20 million years old game that is made by War's Engine. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. Very original. I will be the first person to get replaced by AI. A survival horror game that takes heavy inspirations from Resident Evil in terms of gameplay. Women. And the story, well, you're gonna notice the similarities when I talk about it.
Shinji, crank that boy.
The game is scary. You should be careful. There's something wrong with this place. Oh, I wouldn't have noticed. Not really. Confusing? Yes. And emotional. I'm a crybaby. I didn't cry playing this game. I was actually more disturbed. Just for your knowledge, I'm about to spoil the whole thing. So if you haven't played it, do yourself a favor. It's not that expensive. Or would you rather play the new COD? We need an in-depth analysis on the people who are making these games, not the game itself. Regardless, this video is gonna go right into the depths of Ling and explain everything possible about this game. This is how I became part of the Flesh. Okay, first of all, in order to get into the story and understand where we are, we have to first understand the setting. This is a solar system of Signalis. 1 sun, 6 planets, and 1 moon. They start from top to bottom. First one is Second one is Heimat, the capital of the Yusa nation, and the heart of the revolution. Don't worry, I will explain the factions later. Third is Rot Front, is where the Yusa nation wants to build more, expand more, calling it the hope for the future. Fourth is Kotesh, the Red Desert. This planet is known for its mineral richness, a good place for mining and getting resources for weapons and buildings and whatnot. Fifth, Veneta, the home world for humanity. Unfortunately, an accident happened there. The nation did a silly willy and dropped in a very comedic way, I might add, a very large mountain into the ocean. You can guess what happened from that. The last one is Bain, the capital of the Yusan Empire. Now, who are these two factions? Okay. Back then, sometime, somewhere, presumably old times, there existed an empire, the Yusan Empire. It was ruled by this woman here. I know she's not the prettiest, but we don't have an extra photo of her, so this will do. Her name is the Empress. Not very unique, but nonetheless. She was the one that created the Empire, and that's because she had a supernatural power. Its name is bioresonance. What is bioresonance? It's synchronicity. Synchronicity means stuff that seems related, but they aren't actually. Like when you think of someone and they text you, no, stop acting like they like you. They were literally asking you to pay their bills. In Signalis, it's different. The same concept, but remove not. They are related. And that's because the bioresonant is controlling all of it. Also, it is so powerful that apparently it can bend reality to its user's will. From this alone, you can tell the game is gonna get messy. She was also the one who created the first ever replica. Okay, I want you to pay attention to these two words. Replica is a replica, a copy, a robot. Gestalt is basically a civilian, just your average Joe. What else do we know about the Empress? Not much, actually. She is one of the most mysterious people in the entire game, having a lot of questions surrounding her, like how did she get her power? How did she die? How was the Empire like in her ruling? Was she a baddie? Speaking of the Emperor's death, there was a nation founded by the Great Revolutionary and her daughter. One day these two were like, I hate the Empress and I hate the Empire. Let's colonize the planet for ourselves. Some other people were like, yeah, actually, why are we following her? And like the sheep they are, they killed the Empress. By the way, did I mention that the Great Revolutionary and her daughter didn't have bioresonance? Regardless, she is dead, and some people are mad. Others are kinda happy. Yep, it's Civil War time. So, the Usan Empire has 3 planets, and the Usan Nation has the other 3. This one is important. There was a war that waged on in Veneta. The results? At a cost. The mountain fell into the sea. So, that's why Veneta is like that. Life at the nation is, well, not very pleasant. Okay, sir, how do we make our nation a better place to live in? Ban any and all art forms. What? Every single art form. But that doesn't... Are you gonna disagree with me, comrade? No, sir. Nice. Second thing, all people, weapons, and tools are made to serve the nation, okay? Third thing, if you disagree with me, you get killed. Yep, we are turning this place into a Twitter fiesta. Honestly, I don't know about that. Anyone got other opinions to share? Good. Fourth thing, you can't carry more than 6 items at once. I made this one only to be annoying. Also, make sure to print everything related to the Empire. That is actually kind of my theory, because we don't know much about the Empire and how it's ruled. My theory is that because of the immense hatred towards the Empire from the nation, they decided to burn everything related to them. And since also our protagonist and the entire story takes place in the nation, we can't really trust what the nation says about them in the propaganda posters. So yes, the nation is North Korea. But now that we've got the setting, let's talk about the characters. So, what are replicas? Like I said before, they are just robots, but more humanoid than you think. So, remember when I said the Empress created the first replica? She did that by her bioresonance powers, by copying the neural link of a Gestalt onto the replica. Obviously, this could pose some issues. The replica will, conditions applied, sooner or later starts acting like the Gestalt and later develop individuality, which the nation doesn't like. So if you are a replica and you start to behave strangely, just come and talk to us. We will fix you. Anyways, here are all the units in the game. Keep an eye on these. They are important. I won't explain the rules now or what they do because some of them are spoilers, and what some of the stuff I said about the nation and the Empire are also spoilers. It's better for me to do it that way because the game gets too much with the amount of lore being dropped on you sometimes. Regardless, we are Elster, a replica unit. Elster designed to assist in orbital missions and recon missions. Yes, we are the mechanic of this ship. So, it's time to work. We wake up from cryostasis on a ship. A crashed ship. We look outside the pilot's view window and there is snow covering the entire place. From what we learned about the planets and the solar system, it's fair to assume we crashed at Rockfront. On one of the control devices stuck to it is a photo. We look at it and it's a portrait of a white-haired woman. And from the way it's taken, it's fair to say that someone else is beside her, but we can't see it. We go inside another room and we find a note.
And from cryo mess hall. Elster's looking at me and thought. Sometimes I feel like
I understood that pretty well. It basically says, we find a book that talks about the Penrose, the vessel that we're in right now. We get to know its name from the console menu right here. The vessel is used for space exploration to search for planets or moons that have resources worth taking, or, well, the planets that are worth inhabiting. This vessel is piloted by two people, the Gestalt and the Replica. If we inspect a photo in our inventory, we get to know the name of the Gestalt, Ariane Young. The girl in the picture is the one with us here. With us. Regardless, we find some duct tape, we inspect the picture we got, and we find a code. And that code can be used here, in the cryopod. A key card. First of all, we didn't see a body for Ariane, so maybe she is still alive somewhere? But this is the only place you'd expect her to be in, but she isn't. Anyways, we fix the key card, go to a room with an AV suit that requires set key card, and use it. As you can see, if you look at the background, black pillars emerging from the ground, and as we transition to the first-person perspective, we go through a gate that is clearly made of the same material as these pillars behind us. And look at that, your mother's booty hole. Afterwards, she finds another hole, but this time smaller, and again decides that yes, she needs to go inside. Listen, I'm claustrophobic, please stop this. We find a tomb. Elster says specifically here that she feels like it's calling to her, the King in Yellow. No, wait a minute, dial it back a little. Let's go back to this weird room. A radio hooked to our computer, some portraits about something, and a safe that requires 3 keys. What I want you to pay attention to is this book, The King in Yellow. A real book, by the way. Signalis is inspired heavily by the book, sometimes outright copying some text from it. What it really boils down to, at least for the first story in the book, The King in Yellow is a book that makes people go mad the moment they read the second act of it. Sounds familiar if you remember the bioresonance that affects people's minds and their reality, similar to that book. Also, the nation's way of running things is very similar to the first story, where the government says they got rid of bigotry and all of that nonsense, but if you were to disagree with them, you will get immediately exiled. And as we go on, more similarities to the book will appear. If you read the book yourself, it will help you understand the references better. You can even read it online. If you were to look at the item and inspect it through the game's engine, you will see a hexagon shape on its back. Also, we see this during the prologue title screen where quick images flash through. Keep this in mind since it's important. Anyways, Let's continue the cutscene. First thing first, what is this sound we hear? This is the 3-note oddity. It is believed that Germany was sending these numbers to spies during the Cold War, but that is a speculation. No one really knows what these numbers mean or why they were used in such a manner. Not to mention, after a while of broadcasting, the numbers started to change and make less and less sense. So what do these numbers mean in terms of Signalis, Mason? I will not say, because this relates heavily to the end of the game. So keep these numbers in mind till we reach the final discussion. I want to also mention that in this SoundCloud audio, there are people saying, remember our promise? Imagine doing like an investigation about this radio broadcast and finding this with no way of knowing where it came from. You would probably go nuts. Also, do not listen to this audio late at night. It's more spooky when you know these signals are actually real. In the next part, we see Elster's face over and over. With each sequence, her face starts to melt. This, to me, relates to the passage of time. The more time passes on this crashed ship, the more she starts to melt. Her skin falling off, showing her endoskeleton. We have a radio tower on right front and this painting. The radio tower will come up later, but this painting is important. There is a red gate here that looks suspiciously like the one we just passed through, and someone on a boat. Funny enough, that someone has white hair. Coincidence? This is a painting called The Isle of the Dead by Arnold Backlund. The painting itself represents death. How this guy on a boat bringing another guy to the afterlife. This island. Now, we still don't know how it ties to the story yet, so we will let it be for now. You're gonna see it a lot, don't worry. Now, let's talk about this quote. On Link, there is a secret facility made by the governing body of the Usan nation, Aeon, and it's called S-23 Serpensky. And you guessed it, this facility is deep underground. Not only that, but there's also a mining facility even deeper underground. This quote is from H.P. Lovecraft story, The Festival. So is the next one. And things have learned to walk, the art to crawl. You should have stayed content with your crawling, but instead you decided to walk. This says that humanity is digging deeper than they should. Digging here is an actual literal term. Digging here means trying to understand more about the source of bioresonance and how it works. Oh look, it's Ariane. I wonder why she appears here. Don't worry, this is not gonna be the last time we see her or remember our promise thing. Also, I want to mention these two are in love. This is gonna help you give you context about a lot of things. Here it says Elster 512 has stopped working. So yes, we are dead. How are we on Link? Not only that, but on S-23. This is where the story starts to get confusing. I'm actually gonna spoil something here, since it will make stuff easier. Ariane is a bioresonant. So what exactly happened here is that before the crash, Elster and Ariane made a promise. In order to keep that promise, Elster has to stay alive. So Ariane used her bioresonant powers to send Elster's memories to this unit here. How did she do that? We will know how when we progress the story.
I came all the way here to find her. There's no turning back now.
While exploring S-23, you find a poster talking about the rule of 6, and this is where my first criticism of the game comes. This sucks. Like, actually sucks. I hate the design. So basically, the rule of 6 is a rule that prevents replicas inside of the nation to have more than 6 items at once. Yes, you cannot have more than 6 items in your inventory, and this gets annoying towards the end. Because you will see a key item to unlock in the puzzle. Look at your inventory and see it's full. Go to a safe station, drop off an item in your storage box. Go back to the area, grab the item, and God forbid you don't know where to use that item. So now you have to go back to the safe station, put the item in your storage box, grab the other item you put in your storage box to make clear way for the other item you don't know where to use. And this happens 20 million times towards the end. The funny thing is, they changed it, and you can actually hold more than 6 items. I didn't know that. I played the entire game. We run into a star unit. Elster shows her the picture we got, and this is not Ariane. The star unit tells us that she doesn't know who that is, but she's probably down there in the mining facility. Okay, I think I'm schizophrenic. Either that or the game trying to gaslight me. You shouldn't have given me a gun in this game. Welcome to our first enemy in the game. The combat in Signalis is clunky by design, following in the footsteps of Resident Evil and Silent Hill, managing your health, items, and ammo as much as possible. But you guys know me, I am very aggressive in my playstyle. So most of the time during this playthrough, you will see me walking like I'm constipated, and then we are into Gestalt.
Oh, hello. You don't belong here either, do you? I'm Isa Ito. You should be careful. There is something wrong with this place. I don't know what happened, but it's probably dangerous to go any further. That's okay. I understand. I have something I need to do, too. Take care. I hope you find who you're looking for.
Anyways, we crack the safe, open up the classroom door, and jump down. Wake up! I got a weapon! While exploring the lower levels, we get to a room with cages-looking beds. Okay, let's talk about S23 a bit. So, S23 is a correction facility, or a re-education facility. Meaning if you go there, you probably did something quote-unquote bad. And the term bad is used very loosely here. You get investigated, tortured, and if you don't die from the torture, you get punished. Or got out of this facility, and Anne just decided to... S23? What are you talking about? Re-education? Do you hear that? After a while, they banned the word re-education and pretended it never existed. Can you tell that the nation is good? They are very nice. While visiting another one of these rooms, we find something of importance. Alina's diary.
Feeling a little lightheaded today. I hope it's not that new flu that's been going around. I can't afford to miss any more shifts. The stork at the factory was chewing me out for what felt like hours for fainting at work the last time I got a cold. I haven't seen Elster the last few days. Hope she's okay. More and more people go missing in the mine lately, including replicas. Not even the protectors seem to be safe.
So, remember when I said Ariane sent Elster's memories to another unit? Apparently, this unit was in love with a girl named Alina. Funny that both lovers starts with an A, right? It's safe to assume also that this is the girl in the photo. Elster here is confused about both girls. Was it Ariane she needed to look for, or Alina? For now, we are searching for the latter. We find a room with a safe in it. In that room, we also find an interrogation report. Again, to show you how they operate here. Some people expired during their interrogation. I also call people that when I zero them. Now I want you to notice this room. Ignoring the very amazing sculptured stature of the unit in front of me, specifically this corner. Elster describes the meat here as breathing. Keep that in mind. Afterwards, we're on into a storage unit. They are the combat leads of the replicas, and they have a very funny name. She says something interesting, that we don't belong here. She also mentions the comrade falling sick, and also the administrator, and surprisingly, he's a male. Anyways, it's very weird that she doesn't recognize us, considering the fact that we work here. We also read a note written by her. She mentions a virus. So what you are killing isn't actually any other worldly beings or bad guys, zombies, or whatever. You are killing your own kind, replicas. At the end of it, she says that the administrator has been acting weird lately since the comrade fell ill. The biggest question here is who is that administrator? After mowing down a bunch of enemies, we enter a room with another note. Search. Protocols. I want you to notice how these women look, by the way. It's like somebody has beaten them up, which is exactly what happened. Next. Alina. Confiscated from her a box with a butterfly symbol on it. We know where that one is since we ran into it. And like we know already, she works at a factory and collapsed due to exhaustion. Kinda crazy that because of that, they decided to search her room. The next room we go into, yep, it's the interrogation room. Look at this amazing room. You got the chair, you got the Shan mantle, and the blood. Anyways, here's a letter with some frequencies on it. To use it, we need a radio model. Before we get it though, we get the key to the butterfly box, so let's open it. A grotesque, breathing flesh like the one we saw in the kitchen. And we are back on Rockfront. Okay, remember the radio tower we saw at the beginning of the game? We are in it right now. We enter a house. There's a letter on the table. It's addressed to Iris, someone with Ariane.
Dear Iris, I hope you and Ariane are both well. I've spoken to the official at Ian, and they agreed that it would be best for Ariane to attend school in Sector C. I have a spare room she can stay in until she graduates. I know you two are inseparable, but we both know that it is best for your daughter if she receives a normal education in the city. Love, your sister, Camilla.
Iris is Araine's mom. Camilla, or Camellia, or whatever you want to pronounce it, is her aunt. Her aunt wants to send her to school. Good idea. Probably not. We didn't find the radio model on Araine's desk. Look at how this setup looks, by the way. The books and the radio and the PC. Reminding you of something? Yes, this is the same setup we encountered at the beginning of the game. It's not really known which is actually Araine's room. Maybe it's actually this radio station. Maybe not. Maybe this is an entirely different place with the setup moved. What's important is that it belongs to Araine. Also, keep an eye on this plant. This is a lily. Very important. Remember it. Use your brain juice. Come on.
As in Jesus. Well, listen to me, you stupid twat. And I'm being a gentleman by not using another word to describe you. Have you ever seen a cane? This is what canes look.
We then use the radio frequencies to open up this door and then... We're back! Now, I know there are a lot of questions on your mind. How did we move from here to here? This is very simple. What we saw right now wasn't exactly us. It was Ariane's memories. This is where it gets confusing, so let me make things clear. Time and space doesn't mean anything in this game. I mean, you have a power that can wrap reality itself. So a lot of the time, especially the last portion of the game, is this real or fake? The answer is, it's real, but also fake. We open up the safe, get the keycard, use the elevator, and go to the top floor, where Isa is.
It's you again. I'm glad you're still okay. Have you found who you're looking for? I'm looking for someone too. My sister. If you see her, would you tell her I'm looking for her? Don't worry, you'll recognize her when you see her. Have you ever wondered if you're speaking to someone for the last time without knowing? I wish I could go back, so I could see something else.
As far as we know, we haven't encountered any gestalt with the last name Aito in it. If I do though, it's gonna be on site. Regardless, we move on to the third floor, and of course, every game has to have an elevator that breaks down after all. At least it didn't block us. We need to find 5 different keycards. And again, notice how they are arranged into hexagonal shape. Most of this level is puzzles, so we will go through them quickly. What the hell is this? I don't think you should... No space to carry... Oh my... I don't have space. A, B, C, A. Water key. Oh, I got the water key. Nice. Okay, I don't have any ammo for my... Shut up! Oh my god. Did you guess it? Oh, wow, hello. Hello! What the f... Oh, here it is! Again, this is a memory. We finally get to talk to the woman of our dreams, and she disappears. At least she left us the gold key. Why? Well, there are a lot of different interpretations of this. Gold as something valuable. Araine is very valuable to Elster. There's also another thing. Psychiatrist Carl Jung has described gold as a state of wholeness, which is kind of related to the game in terms of Elster and Araine. If you know, you know. In the same room we played the tape, there's also the second part of Alina's diary.
Something is wrong. No one will tell me what's happening, but ever since I woke up, everyone has been behaving strangely. The protectors won't let me leave my room and return to work, even though the wound from my fall is already healed. I think there must have been an accident in the mine. I overheard 2 Yules whispering around my room that they're running out of staff. I'm worried that something has happened to Elster. I haven't heard from her in a while. I can't just sit here any longer.
It is not known yet where Elster might have been before coming to the surface, so we will keep our speculations for now. As we're exploring more of the hospital wing, we'll finally figure out how the disease progressed through the body. Patient complained about severe nausea and headaches. Admitted to hospital wing after vomited oxygen fluid during work. Clinical picture in line with other recent cases among protector staff. While we still have no indication what causes the syndrome, we have observed similar developments in all patients. Most puzzlingly, development of the syndrome seems to progress similarly in both replica and Gestalt patients. Initial admission tests showed hypertension, high fever, and dehydration, internal hemorrhaging, strong cognitive decline within the first cycle, alopecia, and purpura. Within 5 cycles, skin will begin to peel in large patches. Decline of vision quality and ability to communicate may follow. Gestalt patient will usually expire at this stage due to infections, while results for replica patients seems to vary. ARS. Acute radiation syndrome. This is what's going on. Hypertension, high fever, dehydration are all symptoms of that disease, but that gives you more questions than answers. how did that happen? The disease also seems to be very specific. Why only replicas? Get away from me! Well, I think it's because they are not human. Not entirely, at least. Afterwards, we went to a Yule unit. She told us what the Storch unit told us before, but now we know who the commander is. It's Falca. A bioresonant fell ill. I am sure nothing bad will happen from that. I think we are forming something here though. We get the fire key, get the blank key, which you're gonna use for the earth key, and we'll get the air key. Then open up the door. Welcome to hell. You know how when you play in a game and it genuinely peak, no downside, just straight heat, and then out of nowhere, the pit of hell consumes you. Okay, first, let's look at the positives.
It's blank.
Oh wow, it's empty. Let's look at the negatives. Holy shit. Unlike the other replicas we fought till now, Mina has a gun, so most of the time you're gonna be doing this. At least we get to shoot her back. Oh yeah, you can't do that either. So now you have to wait for Mina to give me your ass. And then, and only then, you're allowed to shoot her. At least the boss doesn't get worse than this. Introducing me. The controls are already clunky enough, so now you have to dodge, aim, run back and forth like you have renal insufficiency. Oh look, she is coming to give me a hug. And here comes Elsters. Just kill me already, bro. Do whoever made this boss just know you're wait, both devs are women. Ovary torsion. So what is the point of this boss? Is it to test my skills? No. Is it lore reasons? No. Is it to piss me off? Absolutely. And they did that spectacularly.
A visitor. Welcome to our facility. You've caught us at an unfortunate time. How can I help you?
I'm looking for a gestalt.
A worker at our facility? Let me see that picture. I believe she's one of our factory workers. However, you shouldn't have returned.
We wake up as Issa Ito, again on Watchfront. This is obviously a memory like the other, in a school setting too. Remember the letter talked about the school that Ariane was supposed to get into? This is the one. Okay, let's go back. We are flesh, and to flesh we return. This is a religious reference. Signalis uses the Bible, so we will go with that. Instead of flesh, though, it's dust. Genesis 3:19. For dust you are, and to dust you shall return. It's a reminder of our mortality, that we will die someday. And it also emphasizes on our origins. Keep that in mind. This is our first introduction to the Flesh on Link. We will talk about it later. This is a Monogatari reference. I think the most interesting line Adler says here is that
you shouldn't have returned.
So we have been here before, right? Well, yeah, because after this intense cutscene, we wake up on a pile of dead Elster units in the same elevator that Adler pushed us from. He has been pushing us from there for more than 100 times now. This time, though, we survived. Now, why are there lots of Elster units here? It will make sense when we reach the loop theory later on in the game. Something was unearthed. When you unearth something, you dig it out of the earth. Digging, mining facility, you see a connection here. And now for the memory sequence. So apparently after going to that school, Ariane was bullied. Maybe because she had a different personality and mindset than the other girls. Or maybe because she had this white hair. Issa accidentally ran into her getting bullied, but she didn't do anything about it. Maybe due to fear of being outcasted. Whatever it is, she didn't feel good about it. Her sister Erica was the one that came and helped Ariane out. She couldn't get over her uselessness though, distancing herself from Ariane due to it, and her friendship with her died, seeing herself as a bad person. Calling to me from below, the song of a god that whispers to the sleeping, a dark sun setting over a black ocean, a red eye in the sky, staring unblinking forever, and deep below the earth, I await answers to questions yet unasked. Calling to me from below reference again to the mining facility we talked about. The calling comes from a god of some sort, a god that whispers to the sleeping, a black ocean, a red eye. So what this tells me is that whatever is down below the mining facility will give us the answers we want. Wake up, samurai, we have a facility to burn. We're now on floor 5 and can also go to 6, 7, and 8. This is where the puzzles gets harder, the combat deadlier, and the plot even more confusing. Yes, just spam every enemy ever. Do you also want to put a miner here too? Nah, there's no way they would use a boss as an enemy. Wait! Oh my god, I can't see anything. That really hurt. That really hurt. That really hurt. That really hurt. Oh god! Oh yeah. Oh! Okay. They're leaning so heavily on the... Oh!
I'm afraid the commander won't receive any visitors at the moment. But perhaps I can be of assistance instead.
Who are you?
I'm the administrator of this facility. Please, there's no reason to be afraid. I'm just here to help.
After we drop down from this hole, a new enemy type, like the shield ass hats weren't enough. This enemy requires you to play with your radio to kill them. Now remember when I said that the replicas are the enemies here? These units are also bioresonant replicas. Now, of course, because of that, they have secret messages for us. Beyond the sun, in the darkness behind the stars, I saw the face of a god, a shape and color words cannot describe. I saw the 6 sides of the world unfold and the light swallowed me. I had become one with nothing, where life and death are meaningless. And I saw the 6th seal break, and the earth trembled, and the sun turned black, and the moon like blood, and the stars fell from heaven. The first 2 lines describe the fact that they saw something that was supposed to be hidden, or maybe something that shouldn't have existed. The number 6 again mentioned here, light swallowing them, one with nothing, like they're dying and becoming immortal. The breakage of the 6th seal is a biblical reference to the end of the world. This song is from The King in Yellow, specifically the play. Also in this room, there is this painting we talked about, the Isle of the Dead, and there's a keyhole, specifically on the part where the man is. This asshole needs to be killed.
My reflection. Somehow, it feels very unfamiliar. Looking at myself for too long makes me feel like I'm staring at a stranger.
Again, remember, this isn't Elster. This is 2 Elsters merged into one. We find Falk's studying room, and here we find some classified information about her. The most important part is that other replicas view Falka as some sort of a god, following her every command without questioning it. Something that also very interesting here is the fact that they molded her after the Great Revolutionary and her daughter. Likely so people could follow her without thinking, and like we already know, she has a bioresonance model. With her bioresonance powers, she can manipulate minds and use telekinesis. I want to also mention that a module is not as strong as what a gifted person has. Anyways, in that same room, you will notice 2 paintings, the Isle of the Dead and the painting next to it, Shores of Oblivion, painted by Egon Bracht. Again, a German name, and like the Isle of the Dead, represents death and the afterlife. If you look closely at the painting, you will notice skulls all over the shore. The painting also represents loneliness, an empty shore with not a single person being alive. It's sad, it's isolating. Funny enough, we go to the next room and we find the unconscious sick Falka. Also, her diary is here.
I don't know how much longer I can go on. I do not want to live anymore as what I have become. The red eye beyond the gate showed me. No, touched me, poisoned me. It feels like my mind has been contaminated, defiled by another person's memory. I am no longer fully myself anymore, but I have not fully become someone else either. I am stuck here between her and me, with half-formed dreams and recollections penetrating my brain and tainting my every action. Who is she? Who is that white-haired girl? Why do I long to see her again? Why would she curse me like this?
And here we have it. White-haired. I think you already know who she's talking about. It's Araine. So, like I told you before, Araine has bioresonance powers, and she has infected Falk's mind. She described it as the Red Eye. Now, who do you think she infected her mind with? Elster 512. The reason is very simple. Falk's longing to see Araine is implemented from 512's memories. Notice how Elster Z1 keeps getting confused about who she is searching for. It's because she also got infected some time ago. I see it as this. She only got half of the memories. Falka has the other. I'm not gonna comment on the Red Eye yet, since it becomes relevant later on, but just know that whatever is happening right now, Falka and the other units, it's Ariane's doing. Anyway, we find the painting's key and we slot it into the painting to give us the workshop key. Here's a very fun theory. Remember how I described this painting as death and the person on the board being the Grim Reaper or the bringer of death? We as Elster put into the painting a key progressing the story to the next phase, certifying our position as the Grim Reaper. You can guess who we are putting down. I don't have to spoon feed you everything, do I? Also, I sound like one of those pretentious essay videos. Araine is actually dead Kaczynski. Elster is actually my co-wash. Adler, more like Adolf. Using the workshop key, we get into an area with some classified information. Okay, remember how I told you that the Gestalt copies their neural patterns to the replicas? Well, there are bound to be some issues. They start remembering who they are before becoming a replica, remembering their old self. In order to combat this, you have to know their fetish objects. My fetish objects, basically objects that stabilizes them. Now, if you wanna make them remember, you do the opposite of what a fetish object does. Show them stuff from their old life, specifically trauma memories, acting rough with some of them, not promoting some of them. If you follow the fetish rule though, you can avoid persona degradation. And I wanna emphasize, a persona degradation means the fact that a replica starts to feel emotions, meaning she's acting like a human, which the nation dislikes. Regardless, after we found the cassette tape and used the duct tape on it to fix it, we use it here. Turn our radio to the frequencies and then... This song is called the Swan Lake Ballad Suite OP20. It's a song about a tale of a woman that turned into a swan. Yes, a man or a sorcerer laid a curse that turned her into a swan during the day and a human at night. A prince fell in love with her, kind of freaky, but because he was a beta-cock male, he got lured in by an imposter of that woman and fell into temptation. He failed in saving her, but in death they reunited and broke the sorcerer's curse. With that, we can get the key from Falka and go up and open the hummingbird's door. This is a Colubria's unit room. Here we can find a note from her, saying that she is suspicious towards Adler. I'm also very suspicious of him. She looked into his mind, a very cool invasion of privacy, and realized that he has some memories of an Elster unit. Okay, this is where it starts to get a little bit funky. She says here that we weren't deployed here, but in reality, we were. It will make sense when we reach Adler's room. After doing some intense puzzle gaming, no, wait. I overlooked this puzzle in the past, but look at what we get from it when we complete it. It's specifically what we get that thing from, the book, The King in Yellow. This is actually insane stuff, because we use this thing to open up a safe that has a book in it, the Shrine Notebook. Let's first read Adler's diary and explain what's happening, and then I'm gonna explain a bit more about this.
I have been fascinated by a peculiar piece of furniture I discovered in storage. A strange box with a removable dial in the front that was confiscated from a worker some time ago. I was instantly drawn to it, though I'm not sure why. When I put my ear on the mechanism, I could hear it faintly clicking, like a clock. I had a dream tonight. Another memory of my Gestalt life, I believe. I believe I was wearing my uniform. There was a young woman, her hair white as snow, and I was conducting some sort of test. I had a deck of cards with astronomical symbols on them, and asked her to guess the planet on the card I was holding. I was playing with that mechanical lockbox again, of which I am now sure is some kind of astronomical calendar, when I suddenly remembered a conversation I had with another replica when I was expecting the mining site. However, it was clearly a model I have never seen before, some type of engineer with an orange chess piece. In my memory, she was just another member of our staff, but no such replica was ever stationed on Sierpinski. Replica memory is not the most reliable, they say, but never before have I experienced such a strange phenomenon. The little enigma of that box could only distract me from the chaos around me for so long. All the box contained was a small notebook, of which all pages turned out to be blank. It has been miserable since our beloved commander has fallen ill. I long for her stern guidance, that overwhelming authority in which she bathes a room. More sick, making my work ever harder. How are we meant to shoulder this workload with no reinforcements? My only consolation is that, as our protector staff decreases, so does the workforce we oversee. While more and more replica end up in the hospital wing, Gestalt workers seem to succumb much too fast for any attempts at treatment. Another diary filled, for no benefit but my own satisfaction. I've not ordered a new one yet since I spent my saved ration marks in that marvelous-looking fountain pen, but I guess I'll make use of that notebook. I've started yet another new diary. How time flies. The work is dull and monotonous as ever in Sierpinski, but a bright light illuminates my day. Today, I was invited to a meeting by Commander Falk, and she was as magnificent as ever. Another day passes. During my meeting with the commander today, I felt the strangest sensation of familiarity as I sat with her. Sadly, our meeting was interrupted by an unexpected power outage. I've been feeling strangely paranoid these days. Never before have I felt so strongly the sensation of déjà vu as I have these past few days. When I checked the pages of my diary today, I noticed that for some inexplicable reason, I seem to have dated my previous entries with today's date. What an embarrassing mistake. Every day feels a bit like I've lived it before. And even stronger is the sensation that something somehow, just slightly out of place. Why is my diary filled with entries I cannot recall writing? Why are they all dated to today? Has the loss of my beloved commander finally gotten to my mind? Am I going insane? I fear what will happen to me if anyone finds out. I am alone in this. If they discover my notes, I'll be decommissioned too. Something is wrong. I can feel it. Is this really sadness? When I read the pages of my diary, I recall events that never happened. A yesterday that never was, yet it feels as real as the one I actually experienced. This cannot merely be a defect of my mind. It feels as though in this room, I peer into another version of reality. How? I do not know. Perhaps I, too, have become sick like the others without realizing. But I will not succumb. A slow accumulation of reproduction errors, a gradual corruption of information, a story misremembered, slowly morphing with each retelling, like genetic material, mutating and evolving, like the replica mind, copied over and over from an aging template. I do not know, but I will find out. The answers lie below. I can feel it. Someone or something calls me from there, in the mine.
We know a lot about Adler now. Most importantly, he's dummy mommy king. As you can tell, Adler and everyone is stuck in a loop, but only one person remembers. It's Adler himself. If we were to have the other diaries from the other loops, we will know more. So I will be combining them in order to put a timeline of events. These diaries can be obtained before the final fight in the game. I will be skipping the unimportant ones. The entire loop takes place in the span of 8 days, from 6 to D. In every loop, Adler finishes his diary and writes the D entries in the shrine notebook. The events change and morph with each loop. The disease also gets worse. On the 7th, Adler talks about commissioning an Elster unit to help in the mine. He also talks to her on the 9th. This is before the disease even spreads. But then something happens. Second diary. This time Elster is somewhere? Adler already ordered her, but she hasn't shown up yet. On B, the disease starts to spread. The diary we find in his room. On the 9th, Adler remembers something, an Elster unit with an orange chess piece. The commander in this loop fell ill. Okay, by now you have noticed something. First of all, the disappearance of Elster. Like I told you before, Elster was here. She worked here before any of this happened. But then a loop occurred, and Elster just vanished. They tried ordering her again, but she didn't come. Not only that, but people started forgetting about her, as we see from the Calipionis note. So we have a common dominator here. Elster must have done, saw, or went somewhere or something and started the loop. It's not a coincidence that she seemed to just vanish out of thin air like that. Let's also talk about the Elster unit Adler remembered. One of them is really bad. One is that he misremembered her color pattern. Her chess piece is red after all. The second thing is that Adler is remembering something from another timeline. A timeline that he is not in right now. Like I promised, I will talk about the King in Yellow here. Isn't it odd that the only thing that doesn't change is Shrine Diary? The other diary entries, in order to get them, you literally have to find them in a strange secret area at the end of the game. And if you play the game, you already know that the stuff we see at the end of the game is most likely not even real. So why? Why does this specific book stay the same no matter what? Notice where we get the mechanism to open this box from. It's the King in Yellow. It's almost as if the book is helping us. It's almost as if Adler was chosen by it. It's almost as if this was entirely planned from the get-go. I have an entire section about the King in Yellow at the end of the video, and I will explain what I mean more there. We still need a bit more info about where this book appears though. Keep an eye out for it. In this room, there are also documents about us. The only thing I want you to take notice of this, since the original neural pattern for this unit was lost with the destruction of the Center Neural Archive of Veneta, new Elster units have been produced based on the decommissioned unit from the Penrose program.
I know you're here. I've done this countless times before. You don't belong here.
My back! Oh, my back!
And of course, they put every enemy possible here.
Who cares? Oh, hell nah, bro. What the? Get away from me!
It's worse than I thought. Everyone has disappeared. I still haven't found any trace of Elster. It's as if she had never been here. Something's wrong with the protectors, those that are still around. Guard spotted me earlier, sneaking out of the medical wing, and she let out a monstrous scream as she chased me. When I looked back, I saw her face. Now I can't forget. It looked like she'd been in some horrible accident.
What? What in the actual... Are we in the painting? So yes, it seems these two paintings have some sort of connection. We are on the shores of Oblivion. What is funny is that it's called here the Black Shores. You can go either right or left. In the notes, we see quotes from The Inhabited of Carcosa, a book that inspired The King in Yellow. The Inhabited of Carcosa is a book about a guy who wakes up in a very dead and weird city, Carcosa, and later on discovers that he himself is dead and merely just a ghost. These quotes here foreshadow his fate. In terms of Signalis, it means something close, but not exactly the same. For there be diverse sorts of death, some wherein the body remaineth, and in some it vanisheth, quite away with the spirit. Different kinds of death. A death where the body stays the same, it doesn't decay. The other is that both the spirit and the body disappears together. First one reference to the replica zombies we're fighting. The other part describes complete death. The body is gone and the spirit is also gone, something I'm sure a lot of people in this world are seeking. The other note has this: in one kind of death, the spirit also dies, and this has been known to do while yet the body was in vigor for many years. Sometimes as inevitably attested, it dieth with the body, but after a season is raised up again in that place where the body did decay. The last part is really interesting because early on we ran into hundreds of Elster units dropped from the elevator. We keep being resurrected over and over again just to fulfill this promise we made. The first line also has something related to replicas, while yet the body was in vigor for many years. The body has been working for many years even though the spirit has died a long time ago. They don't have the original spirit of the Gestalt, and the moment they do, they start to lose themselves. And a great burning star fell from the sky, and a mountain fell into the sea, and the water turned to blood, and the moon and the stars and the sun turned dark. This is a reference to the Bible again. This could have a lot of implications, stuff relating to the nation. Its symbol is a star after all. The nation is falling and the people in it are dying. I mean, I'm sure this disease wouldn't just affect Ling after all. No matter how you view this quote though, it means the end of everything. If you go to the left side, you will see the song from the play, The King in Yellow. But at the end, you will always read, "It calls me in a sea of flesh. We will become one, but I can never go back to being me." Okay, this is enough to explain what the flesh is. A sea of flesh, and becoming one. Whoever jumps into the sea becomes one with the other people who also jumped. A sea of flesh, a sea of people, becoming one, merging together, seeing their memories, living their memories. So that thing we saw at the kitchen table was, yes, it was people, the flesh. And that's why it's pulsating. Now, this segment is very weird, right? You drop down a hole only to end up in a very weird beach that has some sort of a black ocean. This part is more symbolic than it is real. We're not actually in the painting. When we visit this place again, I will explain more about this. Yes, we will come back here. Also, I think he is watching us. How does that even work? Well, it doesn't. Welcome to nowhere. This place is very unique. Also, they took away my map, so now I have to actually use my mind to remember everything. You'll notice after a while though that this place really doesn't make any sense. That's not how doors work. Well, if you played Silent Hill, you will know that Silent Hill stole this place from Signalis. Nowhere in Silent Hill is a representation of Alice's nightmares. Stuff don't really make sense there either. Signalis is literally a one-to-one copy of that. Nowhere is a horror-inducing area made by Ariane's mind. So yes, it's not actually real. Notice this sign.
This place is not a place of honor. No deed is commemorated here. Nothing is valued here. What is here was dangerous and repulsive. This message is a warning about danger. The danger is still present in your time, as it was in ours. The danger is to the body and it can kill. The form of the danger is an emanation of energy. The danger is unleashed only if you substantially disturb this place physically. This place is best shunned and left uninhabited. When the beast within is killed, a path will open here.
It's a warning for radiation effects. This entire paragraph was made by the US Department of Energy. It's a warning sign for people to leave this place alone due to the amount of nuclear waste in it. But what does that have to do with Signalis? Have you ever wondered what is causing this disease? And from what we know, the disease is ARS, resulting from radiation. Disturb this place physically, and great holes are secretly digged. What the hell did the nation find down in the mines in order for this disease to start spreading? We will know about that very soon. But what is that talk about a beast? Well, I think we are about to find out. Do you need a hand with this? Oh wow, an unkillable boss. Yes, you heard that right. The devs saw how bad Mina was and said, we could do worse. This boss is even more pointless. All you have to do is keep running and wait for Issa to finally realize that there's a gun lying next to her. Now you'll notice that I held my tongue while I was describing nowhere. This is the worst area in the entire game. Let's start with the glaring issue in front of us. Again, this place is a straight copy out of Silent Hill. This guy I'm finding right here is a reference to Abstract Daddy. Notice how in early game there were units that come out of the floor. There's a room in this area I call the ejaculation room. Do you know how many of these bastards come out?
When I catch you, Ricky.
Add that to the fact that there's a white sharp lines preventing you from moving around and you have a disaster on your hand. This place is notorious for spamming enemies. Not to mention you will have to do a lot of backtracking, so most of the time you will need to waste ammo on these bastards. Whatever, Issa, just finish me off.
Oh, brother!
Anyways, you know how it is. Collect 6 keys to open up the door. I will not be going into much details about how we get each one since this is not funny. This is funny. Look at this room. Satan was beside Yuri herself and he was questioning her morals. So here's how to do it. Get very close to the enemy here. Shoot. Grab the item.
That's quite big.
And run. They designed it in a way that you have to engage in combat. So is the next part.
How long has it been that I've been down here? How did I get here? Where is this place and why am I here? My memory feels so blurry, as if I had always been here, forever. Even my hair is slowly turning white. I remember my name. I remember my life. But I also remember a different name and a different life. It feels like the line between her and me is blurring the longer I stay here.
This is the final diary from Alina. This feels very different than Falka. Falka felt like she was being infected by something that was not her own, while Alina feels more like she is actually becoming Ariane. Okay, have you noticed during our entire playthrough we would run into different units and interact with them? This place though, we haven't seen a single person except for Issa. Considering this place is a recreation of Ariane's mind and Alina is saying that she had always been here, that means... What does that mean? Whatever. The Dreamer. A prison from which the only escape is death. Deep below, the Dreamer floats in the sea of flesh. The red eye birthing a new world from their dream for eternity. And each time the Dreamer turns over in their sleep, the world turns over too, until only flesh remains. I could explain this. I could help you understand this. I won't. Listen, this is for your best interest. There isn't a lot left in the game. What we are gonna talk about though... Okay, I don't care about this, but what I want to talk about is the very weird resemblance to Ariane. Okay, put your tinfoil hat on. We're about to dive deep. The first thing most people will notice is the hair. White hair, bush. There are also other things, like the fact that nowhere is a recreation of Ariane's mind. So why is she here exactly? Now the counter argument to that is this book right here. This is a book from the Empire, and on its cover might be the Empress. Then the statue right here of the Empress is actually of Ariane. But this makes stuff much more complicated, because that means Ariane here is referring to herself as the Empress. There is no clear-cut answer to this. I was just putting my thoughts out there. Anyways, we use a smelly bottle to wake up Issa. Must be a League of Legends player in here.
It's you, Elster, right? Thank you for your help. Did you find who you were looking for yet? That rifle. I don't think I want to use it again. You can have it.
Anyways, let's get the hell out of here. This place is giving me a headache.
It's impossible to move on. I've been here so many times, but I have never returned. The commander never spoke about what she saw out there. I'm sure whatever it was what made her fall sick. Something about her changed when she returned. She was no longer our beloved leader Falk. What waits beyond the threshold?
It doesn't matter.
As you can see, this is similar to the very first time we got out of the ship. The gate Araine is talking about is this one. It's called the Red Gate. For obvious reasons. The gate is also very similar to the one we passed through at the beginning of the game. So what is happening here? The ship was supposed to be on Rotfront, right? Well, not exactly. Remember, bioresonance can wrap reality, so the ship wasn't exactly on Rotfront. Matter of fact, you can even argue that it's not even on Ling, judging by how surreal this place is. This will be explained better at the end of the game. The painting being printed on Elster is an indication of the promise she made. She is bound to it. It's part of her now, and the painting with different variations of it keep getting shown over and over and over again. Again, a reminder to be deaf. The goal is to enter the ship, which obviously, and I think stated it now would be a perfect time, has Ariane in it. You can tell by her saying that she has been waiting for us. She also says, "Who are you?" This plays into the fact that we are two Elster in one, 01 and 512. The change of color here too implies that, but this is where a twist happens. There's also someone else in Elster's head. Notice this. Oh, I wonder what that means, guys. A copy of a copy of a copy. Ariane is different though. Alina here at the beginning and Falca at the end. Falca got infected by the red eye, which we know is Ariane. Alina is an odd one though to have here, right? More on that later. Elster here have her usual replica copies, but who is that at the end? It's this person right here. This is Vanetta, specifically the war. This person right here name is Lilith Ito. Yes, she is related to the Ito sisters. Lilith was a war veteran that was probably in a relationship with Alina, judging by the picture here. Alina died in the war, suggested by Lilith standing in front of these 6 graves with a lily on top of them. The reason I say Alina was the one that died and not Lilith is that the existence of Elster would have been impossible if she was dead. They needed to copy her after all, but don't get happy too fast, since she is also dead. She died with the archive that got destroyed in Vanetta. Elster is remembering memories from her Gestalt life. She is undergoing persona degradation right now. But if Alina died during the war, how does she exist on S23? That answer gets revealed to us in the next chapter. The Elster units I already explained. We are in a loop where Elster just keeps coming back and try to reach the Penrose over and over again. Fun fact round. This is a picture called Total Eclipse of the Sun. I guess this could represents the black sun they were talking about. This right here is called the Tower symbols. You can read about it here. The gist of it represents the painting. Yep, that's it. That's the round over. The force from trying to open up the door combined with whatever attacked us while we were walking led us to tearing out our arm and falling down and dying forever. And that's it. The game's over. Next chapter. What are you talking about? Do you know how long I've been working on this video? Also, I don't know what's happening in this game. My brain is smaller than a koala. See you later, chuds. What? I don't even know anymore. I have 3 brain cells. 2 in my balls, 1 in the... But look, everything is okay and happy. As you can see, this is the same ship we started on before the crash happens. We do our daily task of checking on the state of the ship. The cryopod that had the keycard in it is an emergency cryopod for the Gestalt if things go south. We also find an unopened document that talks about us. It states that the Gestalt is to stay away from the Elster unit, since they are a war veteran, and to also avoid talking about the war. No books, movies, or even music should be shown to her either, to avoid the resurfing of her memories. Again, this is another confirmation of the Gestalt we saw being the one used on the Elster unit. We then get to read the Penrose emergency program, stating that in case of emergency, just die. Literally, that is what it says. We also have a Penrose briefing here, congratulating us on making it to the 1500 cycle. After we're finally done with checking on everything, we go to meet Ariane.
Elster! You're up! I missed you.
I missed you too.
Ah, it's our 3000th cycle anniversary. We'll be getting the updated mission parameters later, so I thought it'd be nice to celebrate. Wait, let me put on some music.
Do you I don't know, man. It's not like you have been bombarding me with it for the past 7 hours. Guys, look away. We don't need to see any of this. Also, this speech is cool and all, but what if she just gets the leave ending you? What's gonna happen?
Those who sing the same song have heard it in their dreams. A dark tone, at the edge of hearing. A silent voice whispering to my heart. Come join us. Together we will be eternal. There is no escape. We will be one. But I fear the dark sea that will swallow me. Something old, far older than humanity, sleeps deep below the ground. Those of us who can hear its call in the night. An ocean of memories. And we begin. Great holes secretly are digged, where the earth's pores ought to suffice, and things have learnt to walk that ought to crawl. We should have never left the primordial soup. Only through death can I escape the call of the one who rules above all life.
You've changed. It's like everything was taken apart and put back together by someone who doesn't understand how it works. I have become whole again. I wear no mask. And I hate everything.
Yes, you are seeing this correctly. Welcome to Outfront.
Ricky, when I catch you, Ricky.
Oh, hell!
What could have made the way, yeah? What does babies are just kind of like almost have souls, but not yet. So if a baby dies, it's like,
What?
yeah. Or if you have too many kids, you just kill them because they're just like
What
animals.
the fuck? My back!
Hold up. They call me the meme machine, and then they lie and say that I'm countering the gay bomb with my product. That was a BBC headline. Lizard penis rage. That was Associated Press about the lizard penises.
My favorite area in the game. After 6 minutes of cutscenes, I am finally back to tell you that I made Elster take every drug in the game and now she's tweaking out. Outfront's where Ariane lived and where I'm going to die. Now, I bet you're asking, I didn't understand a single thing from these scenes. That means you're playing the game correctly. Understanding comes last in this game. Dying comes first. Also, the promise comes first. Ariane is obsessed with the promise. I'm obsessed with Mommy Asa. Outfront's main puzzle are the tarot cards. Oh my god, guys. Death for Ling? What could that possibly mean? Now, I know what you're thinking. Again, how did we move from here to here? Bioresonance. This place is not real, just a recreation. Outfront is important though, because it has all of Ariane's backstory. Ariane has always been a godlike character that talks to us throughout the game. This gives her characterization. While going through Outfront, we enter a patient's room, specifically Ariane. Here we get to know that she was really interested in arts, books, and paintings. Her interests are my suffering, apparently. I wake up every day and I think about this painting now. Obviously, the nation didn't like that, and this is probably one of the reasons she got bullied. A completely different person that doesn't follow the nation's way of thinking will be outcasted. We also run into an article that talks about the Red Eye. This is different from the other Red Eye. The Red Eye for the citizens of Outfront represents the nation, watching and observing them. Now there is something I need to mention. The nation is not technologically advanced as you might think. They have been using bioresonant powers for so long that they neglected two things. The fact that they didn't understand it, and the fact that other sides of technology is still undiscovered or really old. We don't know if the Empire is like that or not, but whoever wrote this think they are done for. Here's the third card place, the Dream Diary. You will notice a lot of similarities to the story here, embracing my lover, worker in the mines, I fell and woke up, and the rest we are going to experience pretty soon. This is obviously written by Ariane. The thing is, did Ariane predict what's going to happen, or was she just expressing her autistic motives? Regardless, we find a red desk with a medical database for the people on Outfront on it. Use that to enter the E2 bookstore and
I couldn't find her. I've looked everywhere, and she's not here anymore. I can't go on. I'm sorry.
Forgive me.
And here you have it. Issa and Erica were actually dead all along. And that explained Elster's weird behavior towards her. She knew from the start that she wasn't real. And as you saw from Issa melting, she was actually part of the flesh. And the moment she knew that, she dissolved back into it. There's a bigger question though. What happened? Honestly, I don't know. The game clearly tells us that there was some sort of a fallout between the two. Erica went to university after high school, while Issa stayed here. Apparently also Issa seems to have been abused, judging by her medical records. There's another question though. Why did Issa come back to life? Well, that relates to Ariane, so I'ma keep it till we talk about her. Now, this is where I'll make some of you mad. I think Issa is kinda weakly written. Okay, let me explain. First of all, unlike the other characters, we literally get nothing about her. Just one note, and when we go to Outfront, there's basically nothing about them. Nothing. The others have their puzzle pieces you put together to understand the story and understand them, but this, for what sake is it so mysterious and ambiguous? I honestly don't know. Also, here's something funny. Form immortals after my image. Anyways, we use Jung's photo store key to enter Ariane's working place. This is where you get to know the name of Elster's gestalt. Also, notice this. 8 members in the unit, 6 graves, meaning 2 were still alive. That being Lilith and this woman right here, Rebecca. She is prescribed antidepressant because I wonder why. You will notice Outfront is getting kinda weird. Regardless, we use the tarot card to solve the moon puzzle and then climb into the hole. Welcome back.
We have been informed that your compulsory military service period was recently completed. According to our files, you have previously graduated from Mandelbrot Polytechnical High School in Rotfront Sector C on R34.59C and have recently submitted an application for a military service assignment, Penrose Program. You have been processed by Eon Workforce Assignment. Previous work experience: store clerk, Young Photo Store, part-time. Compulsory military service, Rotfront Orbital. Long-range radio operations, officer training. Should you not be accepted by a military service program by the end of the season or find other employment, you'll be assigned to the following workplace: S23, Sierpinski Production and Mining Facility on Ling.
My dearest Ariane, I'm so glad to hear you're feeling better again. I was very worried when I heard from your aunt that you're in the hospital again. I still remember how you used to get sick so much as a child. Please don't overexert yourself, okay? The photo you sent me is very interesting. What a strange coincidence that she looks so much like you. You could be twins. Perhaps she is related to us somehow. Though, I don't know anyone named Sel in our family. From the looks of it, it was shot in Vineta. Your military service will begin soon, so you might be wearing a uniform like her soon enough. Please send me a photo when that happens. Love, Mother.
All efforts to contain this illness have been in vain. All the Gestalt workers have succumbed to it, leaving only dark shadows on walls and floors where they died. And soon, all of us replica will have lost our senses and turned to writhing masses of flesh. I now believe it was not an infectious disease, nor some form of poison or radiation. It was a slow corruption of reality itself. As I've relived the same cycle over and over, each time details changed. Things are twisted, added, removed. How long until it all turns to nothing but noise?
A crashed ship, a strange gate, a hole in the ground. An island beyond reach, memories from other lives, dreams of suffering and loneliness. A promise, a search for someone lost. I saw her in the red emptiness, waiting for me. We had made a promise as the memories of a stranger rushed into my mind. I felt the border of myself blur. Now, I can no longer tell where Falk ends and Elster begins.
You must turn back. There is nothing for you there. You've tried so many times, and you've failed every time. Don't you see that you're ruining everything? This is your final warning.
We were dancing to that song they start the broadcast with. We fell asleep watching that movie we had seen before so many times. If only I could take us back to that time when we were happy. These memories are mine now. Why did you return? There's nothing for you here. She'll never dance with us again, no matter what we do. She doesn't even want us anymore.
Both of us. We are incomplete. Let us become whole again. May God overrule you!
After escaping from the spree that kills my bitrate, I came back to tell you that this boss is actually kinda good. Yes, this boss actually has mechanics, like the black hole that will swallow me whole. She also has shields that she brings out later on. In order to kill her, you have to do the Asuka death end of Evangelion movie. Spoiler alert, by the way, did I mention that? This boss is very well thought out, not only in the mechanics but the setting itself. Yes, you are essentially fighting yourself, and if that ain't the coolest thing ever, I don't know what is. My eyes are slowly darting down. Okay, the voice actor couldn't record this line, so I'm gonna be here replacing for this one. Okay. No, we all won. Oh! Thank you. I'd like to give this Oscar to myself. My entire cast was shocked by this performance and asked for my autograph. Sorry, I don't interact with peasants.
Once again, you've returned. Are you really willing to go through with this once more? You've seen what happens. This world cannot take much more. This may be our last chance. If you go back, it'll all fall apart. I can't let that happen. You selfish monster. Destroy everything.
When I signed up for this mission, I just wanted to get away from everything. I was sick of Rotfront, of school, the photo store, sick of the fake smiles and the whispering behind people's backs. When I saw the photo of that soldier, I wonder who she was. Was she happy? Was her family proud of her? Did her comrades love her? Since we looked alike, I have been like her. But in the end, I just wanted to leave. Nothing I had done or made ever meant anything to anyone. So why bother? Here, I am finally free. I get to be by myself and do what I want. I can finally be happy. Talked some more to the Elster unit. She's different from the replicas I knew back home. Nothing like my teachers, the block war protector. I know she didn't have a choice, but it feels like she's also here because she didn't fit in. It's like we've run away from the world together. At first, I didn't like having someone around. I was glad that she's quiet and didn't approach me. Lately, I've missed having someone I can talk to. Been so long since I've last seen another person. I never thought I'd miss it. Except her, everything is the same in here. Always. Nothing ever changes.
Congratulations, comrade. You have survived 3,000 cycles, reaching the final phase of the Penduous program. With the end of the operational lifetime of your replica unit approaching, it's time to prepare for the final phase of your mission. If you have not found a suitable world for landing by this point, accept that you will not. Find solace in the thought that others might be successful where you failed. As you are probably aware, your ship's spare parts and rations will soon be depleted. Life support systems and reactor shielding will soon begin to fail, and radiation may begin to leak from the cooling system. We recommend you do not attempt to prolong your suffering by reusing old filters or rationing supplies. Instead, make peace with your fate. We suggest that you ask your replica, while it's still functional, to spare you a slow and agonizing death, or that you take a permanent rest in the cryogenic pod. Remember, you will die having served your nation by partaking in a glorious demonstration of our power.
Had a strange dream. I was listening to the radio with my mother. Like back then, the numbers were on, and Mother was taking notes with a book on her lap. It was the book I saw in the shop window of the bookstore where the twins lived, the one with the yellow hooded figure on the cover. When I went there to buy it, it's gone, and Erica said the protectors had confiscated it. Or was it Issa? I can't remember. Everything is always the same. I feel like I'm trapped inside of this ship. I know every bolt on every panel in every room of it. I've seen everything. I've done everything there is to do in here. I can't concentrate on anything. It's like there's this fog inside of my head. Whenever I try to do anything, I just can't focus. I want to go outside. I want to breathe fresh air. I want to feel the wind on my face and in my hair. I think I lost more hair. I'm sitting here getting older. Every time I wake up, I feel older, weaker, sicker. I get out of breath so easily lately, and my back hurts when I sit down. How much longer will this go on? Feels like I'm just slowly dying. I'm tired of it all. Every time I go to sleep, I wonder if I'll wake up again. I'm scared that it'll be the last time I said goodnight to her. I say it right. She'd be okay. One of us just won't wake up tomorrow. I don't want to die. I don't want to live anymore either. Everything is just so exhausting. I just want to lie down and disappear. I just want to sleep. Please, just let me sleep. Please, just make it stop. Please. Remember our promise. Elster.
I can't do it.
I have to do it. It's time for this to end. Please. You promised.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And that's Signalis for you. What a great game. But we are not done yet. Don't leave. So, what happened? Ariane Young, born on Ling, lives on Northfront. Iris, her mother, is a radio officer. She was sent to Station 06. Of course, Ariane was still very young then, so she took her with her. Ariane wasn't a very healthy kid. She used to get sick a lot when she was a child, and because of that and her mother's work, she was very isolated. Her aunt was worried about her and encouraged Iris to send her to school. So she did. Living with Camilla, now Ariane would go to school and get absolutely destroyed there. The reason? Because of her white hair and her interest in art. Ariane, because of the intervention of Erica and her sister, would befriend them. After her graduation, she would work in her family's photo store. Then boom, disaster happens. A spy appears. Yeah, I forgot to mention, a spy visited the nation and they discovered that Ariane is a bioresonant because she was kind of suspicious of him. She used her bioresonance powers to discover that. Anyways, Ariane falls ill again. Usual stuff. Ariane has the key to the store and there is an investigation going on. We need to get inside. Now, because of that, the units thought she had some sort of involvement, so they locked her up. Here's a funny little thing. Apparently, the unit that detained her got so scared after the investigation because she didn't find anything. She was gonna get decommissioned. Military service. She became a radio officer like her mother. Great stuff. Everything is happy, she would return, and the sisters are dead. You just can't have shit in the nation. It's time for you to get a job. I said to Ariane. She wanted to work as a radio officer, but that's where a twist happens. Okay, remember the investigation I told you about a few seconds ago? Well, that left a mark on Ariane's resume forever. It doesn't matter if it's proven false. Companies have a reputation to protect. This is not only in this game, by the way, also in real life. If you have an accusation that was proven to be false later on, this will affect your job application, and you will probably get rejected more than you already were. Radio officers already needed a high political state of power due to the whole signals they send each other to spy on the Empire and stuff. So that's a no-no. So they prepared her a gift. Either go to S23, and we know what happens on S23, or the Penrose. Unfortunately, she got accepted to the Penrose. What could possibly go wrong? Everything. So remember this, a cycle is a day. So the first few years, she would spend time with Elster after she was a bit hesitant to interact with her, got to know her better, and getting kinda close together. Now this is Ariane's first mistake, because she didn't open the letter that tells you specifically, do not get close to the Elster unit. Then afterwards, they fell in love, and of course, Ariane started showing her stuff she is interested in. Second biggest mistake, because the stuff she showed her was from the war. Lilith is from the war. She doesn't want to get close to people because she lost Alina. Radiation was already leaking by the 5th year. On the 8th year, a romantic evening between Ariane and Elster would happen, and that would end in absolute disaster when they received this message from the nation. Yep, the 3-note oddity is actually a message from the nation telling them it is over. And that's why we hear it on the title menu and in the prologue, because this is a dramatic response from Ariane. Now the reason I say what Ariane did was a mistake is because the unit now went through persona degradation, meaning she is remembering Lilith and she has attachment issues due to Alina. Now she can kill Ariane. Shit hits the fan. teeth fall out, my head hurts, my spine hurts. So they decide to put Araine to sleep in the cryogenic pod, and then wake her up when Elster decided to, and then put her back to sleep again. This goes on for, between these two numbers, 14 years to 718 years. And during that time, slowly Elster was melting due to radiation. And then Araine was left in space for God knows how long. And this is where the story begins. So what is the promise? It's this. Yep, it's to unite after death. Everything unfolds like we saw in the past hour and a half. I don't need to explain again. But there are a few mysteries we need to talk about. First one, when did it start? Again, probably with Elster 01. She went down in the mines, discovered the red gate, looked at the red eye, and then got infected. Loop happens. Faka goes down, looks at the red eye, become infected. Alina. I was gonna have a long essay about her, but we don't need that. Alina is Araine on S23. Not on Veneta, on S23. Easiest one to show you. Look at the design. Why would Araine want to be there? Because she had this thought while she was sleeping in the cryogenic pod. What if I was on S23 as a completely different person? And here you have it. Why did Adler remember so easily? Because the more loops that happened, the more normal her appearance seems to be. Just like they forgot Elster, they remembered Alina. What's up with Issa? Issa is a manifestation of guilt and also trauma. She was created by Araine. There's also a theory going on that Issa killed Erika, so you can take that how you want. The disease is Araine's radiation coming out of the flesh. The endings. I want to say something here. Yuri did confirm that every ending is canon. For me, canon means multiple things. First thing, that it happens over and over in a loop, and that this one, the one we got, is the canon ending. Not the promise, not leave, I mean all of them. We have seen what became of S23. Adler is right. The world is falling apart and probably won't be able to handle another loop. This puts a lot of weight for this scene and on your decisions throughout the game, because no matter what happens, this is it. So, what are the other three endings? First one, leave. In order to get this one, you just have to speedrun the game. Because of that, Elster decides not to go through with her promise, and that's because Lilith took over. Notice how we are on Veneta right now. Lilith has trauma from losing Alina. She doesn't want to confront that again, leading her to leave and die on the shores. The memory ending is the worst one to get. In order to get this ending, you have to be very balanced in everything you do. Kill, but not too much. Interact, but also not too much. So we go to Araine, and then she's like, huh? Yep, she doesn't remember us. Might also be the fact that this is not actually 512. This is 01. Elster wasn't able to discover enough of her memories to remember 512. So now 01 took over. This is not the Elster Araine fell in love with. Afterwards, she crumbles and dies. The reason I say that this is the worst is simple. You went through absolute hell and nothing gets achieved. At least in the leave ending, Elster was able to admit that, yeah, I don't want to do this anymore. The promise. Here you have to take on the form of the Doomslayer and murder everything on sight. The promise is the one we saw just a few minutes ago, and it's my favorite because it fits the theme and the story really damn well. So, is the loop broken by this? Yes, maybe, kind of. Okay, Araine is the source of the loop in a sense, so killing her would essentially end the loop. But have you noticed the way Elster dies? It's kind of like the one she took the arm and the armor from. There is a way more convincing theory though. This is not actually Araine. Yep, this is a fleshy manifestation of her, so that means that she isn't actually dead. The artifact. This is where it starts to get weird. Buckle up. People went absolutely shizo in order to find this ending, looking at wave files, rooms and areas and code. So here's a quick way to get it. There are specific rooms you have to go to, 3 in total, and place certain codes in these rooms. Do that and you will get 3 keys. The key of eternity, the key of love, and the key of sacrifice. Remember that save I mentioned the first 20 minutes of the video? Yeah, you use these keys and the code is the 3-note oddity, not the actual one, a rewritten one. Considering this entire prologue was from Araine's head, this means that this signal is sent by her to us to open the specific safe. She rewrote what started this entire disaster to something that will fix it entirely. And the more you think about it, Araine seems like some sort of a divine being that is gathering through this, isn't she? And inside is a lily. Okay, I'm gonna show you the ending really quickly. You have 5 seconds. Go.
Man, I'm dead.
The artifact ending is one of the most debated endings in the game. Something I should have said probably from the start of this discussion is, where exactly is the ship? Well, I want you to notice how this place seems to change location willingly. Sometimes Vereda, sometimes Roadfront, so this place is basically not real. It's a pocket dimension between dream and reality, accessing it through the red gate. The lily here represents rebirth, a new beginning, a new life. Elster uses this as a ritual, and as the camera pans up, we see Elster units. I believe it to be from different timelines, coming together to help complete this ritual, all of them having their fragmented memories combined into one unit. Falca is also with them. So what is this thing, since it seems to transcend time itself? This is called a tesseract, an object that cannot exist in reality. So this thing must have come from a higher being we are not even aware of. It's the logo from the game and represents the grave. And with this ritual, Araine becomes a god? Maybe. God here and her prophets could mean multiple things. An actual god and her servants, or metaphorically, Araine telling them that it's basically over. Now, there are a lot of different interpretations to this ending. The first one is that Araine ascends to godhood and everything is safe and happy, and we got what we wanted. This, in my opinion, is too much of an optimistic ending that the game probably doesn't want to have, especially when it tells us so. A more believable theory is that Elster created a safe haven with this sacrifice, to be together with Araine in this pocket dimension, Araine becoming the god of it. This doesn't erase the fact that the flesh is still probably out there eating people, or the fact that Elster and Araine are probably dead by this point. Regardless which one you believe in, Elster and Araine will stay in this place, probably forever, dancing. But I will leave you with this question. Which kind of death do you think this is? The King in Yellow honestly isn't understood as many Signalis players would actually think. It's a reference to what is going to happen in the story, yes, but I also believe it has more to do with it. The play, The King in Yellow, it makes you go insane. That is an understatement. I believe it makes you become part of a script, written specifically for you, to end in agony. And I believe Araine has read that book. The song from the play is here, Colipio units transmitted it. Adler seems to say quotes from the presumable intro of the second act. The play helps you open up a box that has a notebook in it that transcends time itself. It cannot be erased. The artifact that looks like the material that an artist created after reading the book, information coming from the king himself. I believe this guy is the entire reason we're in this mess in the first place. I know I sound crazy right now, but you have to believe me, he's coming. The themes in this game are very apparent, but not a lot of people talk about the themes of loss in it. Every single character in this game loses someone or something, and with it, their eyes go too. When you lose something important to you, you also lose a part of yourself. That doesn't mean that you should give up hope. Sometimes letting go instead of holding on is better, or maybe there is a better sweet ending out there. Look at these amazing voice actors. Please go check them out. They did amazing. Honestly, like, the video wouldn't have been the same without them. Their links are in the description. Check them out again, please. Sorry, this one took a bit too long. But yeah, I will actually see you pretty soon. So yeah, see you then.